Hi, I'm Mary Ellen, or better known as Prepper Potpourri on YouTube, and I'm here to answer a question I get. Can I depend on my backyard garden in times of crisis? And today I'm going to give you a definitive answer. Maybe, but probably not. Hear me out. Now, in my library, I have books like this. Mini Farming, it is Self-Sufficiency on a Quarter of an Acre. Really? I doubt it. Or here's this one. This is a classic, John Seymour's The Self-Sufficient Life and How to Live It. And he does have some suggestions. Here's a picture. Yeah. But notice, he has a cow, a pig, chickens, garden, other things, right? And he has a suggestion for 5 acres. But chances are you don't have 5 acres in your backyard, so your garden is going to supplement. It will not be the only thing in your food arsenal. I mean, to get real, do you know how many calories your backyard garden would have to produce to be able to, for just one person, for a full year, give you the calories you need? And that might not even include all the nutrients you need. You would need, I had to look down here, 700 to 730,000 calories per person. That's a heck of a lot, okay? So if you are interested in more a high caloric backyard garden, you want to pick what you're growing carefully. And that would be potatoes, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. Maybe it is Jerusalem artichokes. Then you'd want to have beans. You know, dried beans can keep a long time. And you could look at corn, but that takes up a lot of space. And then what about grains? How would you have flour, right? To make your breads and that kind of thing. So chances are you could not depend on sustenance for any period of time just on your backyard garden. But by having a backyard garden, you are learning skills. Why does an airplane always go over when I'm making a video outside? Isn't it amazing? Every time. Anyway, you are learning important skills. I mean, if it would be that you have to dig up your front yard for a garden too because of some kind of apocalyptic event, you got the skills, you know how to do it. So gardening is important for a prepper skill. In addition to growing things, you need to know how to supplement your soil. So composting is a great skill to learn. Now, of course, I don't really compost. I just use the manure for my chickens. I guess I do compost. I leave it in the woods for 6 months before I use it. And for my rabbits, it's black gold, right? I can put that manure right straight on my garden, and it is wonderful. But that brings up something else, another skill you need to have. And that is, what about pestilence? Yeah, you can lose an entire crop because of bugs or maybe weather. Or in my case last year, it was a very fat woodchuck that multiple times found a way into my garden fortress, which has a 6-foot deer fence, chicken fence around that, and on the bottom it has hardware cloth so nothing can dig in from underneath. Yet it got in. I still haven't figured out how. And it ate a bunch of crops. So if I was depending on those for my family sustenance, well, I could be in trouble. So one of the things you might want to do is expand your skills. Maybe have some chickens, because that could be for meat or for eggs, and again, they're manure for fertilizing, or meat rabbits. Again, just another skill to have. And something else you might want to do, instead of growing things that really don't have much calories, like let's say lettuce, is learn how to forage, because right in your yard you might have some great weeds that can taste great in a salad. And if you go out a little bit further, maybe in your woods, you'll find some apples or some berries or some fantastic tasting mushrooms. Just if you're foraging, make sure you know what you're doing, what you're picking, because you don't want to kill your entire family because you picked the wrong mushroom. But another important skill is foraging. And then we go back to gardening. Okay, another skill, seed saving. You want to grow heirloom vegetables whenever you can. And then if you can save those seeds, that's great, because then the next year you can grow your garden from those seeds. So another great skill to have. And one more to supplement. You want to have protein right. Well, learn how to hunt, trap, and fish. Yeah, even those little troublesome squirrels. Oh, darn, I think they're so cute. But anyway, they taste darn good. That's right. And, of course, fish. We love pan-fried fish. Again, all skills to learn in case you really need them ever to supplement your diet in a time of crisis. And, of course, you got the garden, you harvested, but how can you preserve it? Well, then, I really encourage you to learn how to water bath can, pressure can. I have videos on both. Learn how to use the power of the sun, right, to dehydrate. Or learn fermenting skills. Who doesn't like a good sauerkraut? Or how to preserve in salt. I mean, there's a lot of old world preservation techniques. Again, great skill set to have. So, my final thoughts and my answer to that original question is, I suppose if you had the right size backyard that contained a large garden, livestock, grew crops for your livestock, maybe even a fish pond. I mean, you get the idea. Maybe you could have self-sustenance from your backyard garden. But chances are most of us don't have that. But again, I still encourage you to have that garden. For me, I don't know. When I get my fingers in the dirt, I just feel more in tune with nature. I enjoy it. And I really enjoy the taste, my entire family does, of what I grow. And of course, I also enjoy the canning and preserving the food. So, have a backyard garden. But don't depend on it totally to sustain you in a time of crisis. Hope you found this video helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more realistic prepping knowledge. And remember, share the knowledge. Thank you.